How many times this week did you tell yourself you'd finally start? Maybe it was that project you've been putting off. Maybe it was the conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it was the workout routine, the creative pursuit, the difficult task you know you need to do. And how many times did you find a perfectly logical reason why today wasn't the day? I'll start when I have more time. I'll begin when I feel more prepared. I'll take action when conditions are better. Here's what's wild. Those conditions keep changing, don't they? But somehow, you never actually start. Let me tell you an ancient story that's going to make this pattern painfully clear. Because once you see what's really happening, you can't unsee it. And that's exactly when change becomes possible. This is the tale of the hungry man from the hills. And I promise you, you are him. Picture this. A village is preparing for a great celebration. Everyone's invited to help build a temporary hall where the feast will be held. It's a community effort. Neighbors working together, laughing, building something meaningful. But standing at the edge of this busy, joyful scene is one man. Just watching, not participating. His face shows sadness, maybe even longing, but he doesn't move. A kind villager notices him standing alone and approaches with genuine concern. "Friend, are you all right? Are you sick?" The man sighs deeply. "No, I'm not sick. I desperately want to help. I want to contribute. I want to join the feast afterward." But he gestures helplessly at his stomach. "I can't possibly work on an empty stomach. Who can labor when they're this hungry?" The villager's heart goes out to him. This makes sense, right? The man needs fuel. So the villager rushes into his home and brings out a full meal. Rice, soup, chicken, everything. "Please eat. Then join us." The man eats gratefully. The villager smiles, feeling good about solving the problem, and returns to the construction. Time passes. An hour, maybe more. The hall is taking shape. The villager glances over to see the man joining the work now that he's been fed. But the man is still standing there. Same spot, same sad expression, still just watching. Confused now, the villager approaches again. "Friend, you've eaten. Why aren't you working with us?" The man looks even more sorrowful this time. "I still want to help. Truly I do. I want to earn merit. I want to be part of this. But now," he gestures again at his stomach. "I can't possibly work on a full stomach. Who can labor when they're this stuffed? I need to let my food settle first." Empty stomach can't work. Full stomach can't work. The excuse changed. The circumstances changed. But the inaction, that stayed exactly the same. This isn't a story about hunger. This is a story about you, about me, about every human being who's ever stood on the sidelines of their own life, creating perfectly logical reasons for staying put. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain is doing this to you right now, multiple times a day, and you probably don't even realize it. Let me explain what's actually happening in your mind. Your brain has one primary job: keep you alive. And for most of human evolution, staying alive meant avoiding unnecessary risks, conserving energy, and not doing things that might get you hurt, rejected, or killed. So when you think about doing something difficult, starting that business, having that conversation, making that change, your brain scans for threats. And it finds them everywhere. Uncertainty, potential failure, social judgment, discomfort, effort. Your brain doesn't want you taking those risks. But here's the thing. Your brain is also smart. It knows you have goals. It knows you want things. So it can't just say, "No, we're not doing that." You'd override it. Instead, it offers you what seems like a perfectly reasonable excuse. A logical reason to delay. And the genius of this? The excuse changes based on your circumstances. You say you'll start when you have more time. Your brain believes you. But then you get more time, and suddenly the excuse shifts. "Well, now I should really plan this out more carefully first." You say you'll take action when you feel more confident. Your brain nods along. But when confidence comes, a new excuse appears. Actually, maybe I should wait until market conditions are better. Empty stomach, full stomach. Too busy, too much free time. Not ready yet, waited too long. The circumstances flip, but the avoidance continues. Psychologists call this moving the goalposts. Your brain is constantly adjusting the conditions for action just far enough ahead that you never quite reach them. It's not that you're lazy. It's that your brain has become incredibly sophisticated at protecting you from discomfort. And here's what makes this pattern so insidious. The excuses feel true in the moment. They're not obviously false. An empty stomach is uncomfortable. A full stomach is sluggish. More time would be helpful. Better preparation would increase your chances. But none of that is actually stopping you. What's stopping you is the pattern itself, the habit of finding reasons not to act. Neuroscience research shows that when we're faced with uncertain or uncomfortable actions, our amygdala, the brain's fear center, becomes hyperactive. It starts generating what feel like thoughts and concerns, but are really just anxiety dressed up as logic. Your rational mind then takes these anxiety signals and creates narratives around them. I can't work on an empty stomach sounds much better than I'm afraid of working hard and still failing, or I'm uncomfortable with being seen and potentially judged. The excuse protects your self-image. If you never try, you never fail. If you always have a reason for delay, you never have to confront whether you're actually capable. So how do you break this pattern? How do you stop being the hungry man from the hills? First, you need to develop what I call excuse awareness. Start noticing when your brain offers you a reason not to act. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just notice it. Oh, that's interesting. My brain just told me I need to wait until Monday to start. I wonder if that's a real constraint or an excuse. Here's a simple test. Ask yourself, if circumstances were different, would I find a different reason not to act? If the answer is yes, you've spotted an excuse. Second, expect that you'll never feel ready. This is crucial. Your brain will never give you the green light. There will never be a magical moment when all the excuses disappear and you feel perfectly prepared. That moment doesn't exist. Action creates readiness, not the other way around. You become ready by starting, not by waiting to feel ready. Third, and this is the most important part, learn to act despite the excuse. Not because the excuse isn't real or doesn't make sense, but because you recognize that waiting for perfect conditions is itself the trap. Start with something absurdly small. If you're waiting to feel energized to work out, commit to putting on workout clothes. That's it. Not the actual workout, just the clothes. You're training your brain that excuses don't determine action. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to start that project, commit to working on it for 10 minutes. Not the whole thing, just 10 minutes. You're showing your brain that circumstances don't control you. Over time, something remarkable happens. Your brain learns that the excuses it generates don't actually predict outcomes. You work on an empty stomach and survive. You work on a full stomach and it's fine. You start before you're ready and make progress anyway. The excuses start losing their power, not because they go away. They probably never will, but because you stop treating them as commands and start treating them as suggestions you can decline. Fourth, practice self-compassion when you catch yourself in this pattern. You're not broken. You're not uniquely flawed. This is just what human brains do. The man in the story isn't a villain. He's just human. And so are you. The goal isn't to never have excuses. The goal is to recognize them for what they are, your brain trying to protect you from discomfort. Thank your brain for caring, and then do the thing anyway. The hungry man from the hills teaches us something profound. The conditions will never align perfectly. Your brain will always generate new reasons to wait. Empty stomach, full stomach, The excuse changes, but the avoidance stays the same. The only way forward is to see the pattern, acknowledge it, and act anyway. Not when you feel ready. Not when circumstances are perfect. Now, with whatever you have, however imperfect it might be. Because here's the truth. That hall gets built by people who work despite their hunger and despite their fullness. Life gets lived by people who act despite their excuses. Which person will you be? If this resonated with you, subscribe for more insights on psychology, ancient wisdom, and understanding why we do what we do. Drop a comment telling me, what's your version of empty stomach, full stomach? What excuse keeps changing but keeps you stuck? I read every single comment. Now stop watching videos about change and go take one tiny action. Right now, prove your brain wrong. I'll see you in the next one.